this is Kim from Kimberly Scott Science. Today we are talking about science fairs and more importantly the 4th and 5th grade science fair project. So we really want to make sure with a 4th and 5th grade science fair project that the project is student led. It is student driven. It is their idea. Because at this age level, a lot of times it's required that they have to do that school-wide science fair project for a grade, and some kids are going to be all on board for it and some are not. So if a child is really into basketball, see if you can convince them to maybe do an experiment on basketballs, something that interests them, so they're going to drive the project and be excited to share it. And so here's an example. My son wanted to do chemistry, so he did Alka-Seltzer tablets, and he really drove this project. He came up with doing the water and the oil. He really liked that lava lamp, homemade lava lamp. So he came up with that. It was his thing. He was in the kitchen. He was doing it. The next thing you want to remember in the process of that is that the child is the leader. The parents are really taking a step back. You are not doing much. They are 4th and 5th graders. They should know how to pretty much do it, or they can use a workbook. If you're looking for a workbook, you can go to KimberlyScottScience.com, and I have the 4th and 5th grade workbook series there, and that will guide them completely step by step. You're there to take them to the store. You're there to make sure they're doing all their safety precautions. You're there to just ask them, okay, are you following your schedule? But it is their project. They need to take ownership of it so that the night of the fair, they are ready to explain it. It's not your project, it is their project. Along with that, I had mentioned that you need to develop a schedule. So make sure they sit down and realistically look at how much time they have each night to work on it and what days they're going to work on it. Is it going to be a weekend thing? Are they going to work on it a little bit every evening? Do they have 3 weeks to do it? Do they have 6 weeks to do it? Have them come up with a timeline, and that's going to help you take a step back, because you'll just be able to say, hey, did you finish this part? And they'll say, oh yeah, I got it done, or no, I still need to do that, and you're not having to nag them so much. They have their own schedule to follow. You want to make sure they know the safety precautions for their experiment. So for this one, obviously, you're going to want some safety goggles if you're doing an Alka-Seltzer tablet. Here's a great age-appropriate experiment that deals with making ice cream. So for this one, really, it's food science. Not a lot of safety issues except for maybe touching the ice cubes and dealing with the rock salt. So it's a great age-appropriate project. He did 3 trials, which is excellent amount. He had to make 9 batches of ice cream. You could probably do 2 trials and be fine. So again, think realistically what works with the project. 4th and 5th graders are going to have to do more than 1 trial. Just think about how many trials to do. 3, plenty for this because it took a while to make all those batches. You could probably get away with 2 trials as well. And you'll also notice on these 4th and 5th grade boards, in this case, he typed it. I do not ever require typing because it's not a typing project, but by this age level they can make that decision if you have a computer and a printer if they want to type it. We used a template for all the titles and the labels. You can actually find that at KimberlyScottScience.com as well. This one was the effect of the type of soda on the distance the cat travels. This was a 4th grade project. He really liked those Loga Alka-Seltzer, the film canisters, and wanted to do that, and he came up with soda and Alka-Seltzer tablets. You can see some of it is handwritten and some of it is typed from later on, and it's a hand-drawn graph. That's perfect, very age appropriate, and his paragraphs are going to be longer. His explanation is going to be much more scientific. This is probably one of my favorite science fair projects that starts to show kind of borderline where I wouldn't do this in a grade level lower than 4th and 5th grade, but this is the effect of the amount of magnets on each side of a battery on the speed of a Homer polar train. A lot of good research with this one. We found it was hard to coil the wires and that you're dealing with neodymium magnets. So again, it's look at the age appropriateness. He was old enough to learn how to understand how to handle the magnets. I wouldn't do it with a younger grade level, but I would definitely look at this for even older than 4th and 5th grade, and you can see all his background research gets expanded. He's got his pictures. There's handwritten stuff on here as well as typed, which is very age appropriate. You start to get to references and acknowledgments. They're much more detailed. So again, think about that. They have to be able to do it on their own. They're going to need to refer to you to take them to the library, research online, and do that, but it is their project. Make sure they can take ownership of it, and you get to just take a step back and just watch them. So if you want to learn more, please visit my blog. Check out the other grade levels that I have. And to learn more, you can visit KimberlyScottScience.com, or you can check me out on Teachers Pay Teachers, where I have all 3 grade level workbook series. So have fun developing your science fair project.